So here we go with this game from losers round 3, I think. Yeah, losers round 3. So losers round 2 and losers round 3 on at the same time. Still games going on from losers 2. Luke Gilbert and Josh Kane 4 apiece. Shane Thompson 6-1 up on Adam Penwell. Rich Gifford 4-3 up against Scott Crawley. Darren McVickers 6-2 against Jason Ellis. Leiden de Bono 3-1 against Manchid Omar. And this was a game between the local man, Liam White, and the recognisable Chris Melling. Decent break from Liam, and what you'll see between these two players, they both have very, very good breaks. Liam, very slight in stature, but he generates a lot of power with his break, and he's a great little player. We've seen him a couple of times before on stream, and he really is a talent. Chris will have to be on top of his game. Just slightly the wrong angle. But he can play this with right hand side. You can see him playing to the right hand side of the ball. He's going to kick the cue ball across table, open the angle, and now leave what should be a fairly simple finish. Pretty sure the black passes to left corner, so you can just stun across. Indeed it does. Full pocket to aim at. So, for a very tidy break and dish in the first frame, it's 1-0 to Liam White. Always impresses me when I watch him play. He's just got a really nice, solid game. Scores around the room. Look at that at the top. Ben Flack and Neil Raybone. Not a fag paper between them. 10 frames each. I wonder if we can just in a second get a shot of the arena to see who's at the table. Jez Graham on the hill against Dylan Leary. Let's see. Well, it's the second table down. There are balls scattered everywhere, but we can't quite see yet who's at the table. That's Dejan Gresh in the foreground. He's playing Mason Penny, and he's 6-1 up, I think. Still, there we go. Someone's just potted a yellow in the middle. So, well, Ben's at the table. And in the middle of what looked like to be a pretty makeable clearance. So, wow. Everything's spread far and wide. And Chris is going to be going for reds. Come down into this cluster. That's a nice shot. Well, it doesn't look happy. I think it's just come above the black. It's cleared the black. think he's okay. I think yeah, has to play it now because it's going to be more difficult to get on. He had it at the top corner. And he's got options here. He can take the one on the black spot. He can take the one to top corner. He's also got a fairly easy double if he wants to. So one on the black spot to come back up table. Is that to slow down? Oh yeah. That's going to cause a problem. Not sure if he was trying to get up onto the top cushion to play those two as a plant. That would probably make more sense because taking them in order, he couldn't have got back for the one in the middle of the table, in the middle of the top cushion, sorry. But now this is suddenly turned out very awkward. Now I think he has to play the plant. If he takes the one nearest the cushion, then he can't get back for the other one, so the thin plant. He's played it as a cannon. He's missed the cannon. Brings Liam to the table. We've already lost some big names. Well, when I say lost some big names have gone across into the losers' side. Carl Boys was beaten by Liam Dunster. Jack Whelan's across in that losers section, as is Craig Marsh. Rob Warne, Sean Story, Craig Waddingham, Jordan Shepherd, Phil Harrison, Callum Singleton, all across in the losers section. Again has a choice. Needs to leave a nice angle on the one up the rail, which he has. So now he can just play this pretty much plain ball and just drift across table, across the face of the yellow at the top of the table. Maybe just a trace of right hand side. No, he's not. He kind of punched it when you felt that he could have just played that plain ball. There seemed to be enough angle there with just a trace of right hand side just to bring that cue ball across naturally. Punched it and come up short of pace, and now he's got a thin cut. And he's overcut it, nearly lost the cue ball. So it brings Chris to the table, and it should be one frame each. One frame all. Ben Flack has completed the win over Neil Raybone, 11 frames to 10. So that sees Neil Raybone across into the loser's side. Littered with players across there now. Littered with big names. What a break. Timing is just superb. And the black ball going in. I've mentioned it before, but I really do love this rule. This change to the rule where the black ball, if the black ball goes in, it basically comes out and goes back onto the black spot and you carry on playing. So if you've gone dry, then your opponent takes control. And if you've potted a ball, then you continue. And I think that's perfect. It speeds things up. And why should you be penalised? How often do we see a massive break, pot 3 or 4 balls, leave dollies, the black goes in, they're reset, and off of the next break, you either go dry or in off. And why should players be penalised because the black's gone in? Just put it back on the table, get on with the frame. I love that rule. It's a nice shot. Not sure he was playing to move the yellow. I think he might have been playing to disturb the red. But the yellow going in also works. You can leave the red that's closest to the cue ball now until last. So he'll drop this one in and left a nice angle on the one up the rail. You can screw back just below where he is now into the gap between black and yellow to play the red in left centre and leave the one down the rail till last. This needs to be cued well. Oh, there must be a gap between the yellows. Well, that's a bonus. Doesn't look for the world that there's a gap there. But even so, still needs to play this with care. He's going to be careening into the red. Natural angle takes him into it. Should be fine. He's played it harder than I expected him to, but he played it really well. Black goes to left centre, past the yellow, so looks like he can just drop this one in. He'll probably play it. Yeah, it's just stunning back. He's come above. He's fine. Cue ball was just heading towards that pocket, just stunned it above. And now straight black for 2 frames to 1. And that's a break dish in the first frame and a break dish in his second. Jez Graham still on the hill against Dylan Leary. Darren McVickers won his game 8-3 against Jason Ellis. Don't forget, these are races to 8. The winner's round races to 11, so the 2 at the top are races to 11. The rest that you see, they're all races to 8. Amir Riyad the Moroccan, who was impressive when we saw him yesterday. He's 4-0 up against Chris Day. And Chris Day is a very, very good stick. Chris narrowly lost out to Liam Dunster yesterday in winners round 1, and that's why he finds himself in the losers section. Massive. Well, we have a video to show you tomorrow, around about the time we do the draw. There's a little video that myself and Chris made, a little masterclass on breaking. We're going to show that tomorrow morning. I'm not sure what time the draw is, probably around about 10:30 at a guess, but I can confirm that later. And before the draw, we're going to show that that masterclass from Chris. And he talks in that masterclass about the power, and that one was up around 95% of power. It's a really good video, actually. It's an eye-opener. He talks about stance and addressing the ball, and how you get your power through the ball, where you should be aiming on the pack. And he talks about the variation of different breaks as well. It's about a 12-minute video, and it's well worth a watch. We made that one during the last event, and we're going to be showing it tomorrow. So do tune in for that. I'll get you a time. Great little shot. Very inventive, but how unlucky. Very unlucky not to have any shot. He's going to have to find another one. Find another piece of magic. Wow. What a shot. Another great pot. He's still not out of the woods. He needs another good one here. Just keeps finding it. Shot after shot, just keeps finding it. It must be frustrating to play against, because you think, oh, he's run out of position, I've got a sniff. And then he just pulls one out from nowhere. Fabulous clearance. Very good. 2 frames each. Cheers, Graham, Dylan Leary, Hill, 10 frames each. That game has been going on since 2 o'clock. So that has been going on for 3 hours and 10 minutes. Similarly, the Mark Boyle Ryan Clark game. Ryan Clark was 10-6 up against Mark Boyle. It's now 10-8. And Mark's fighting, as you know he always will. Shane Thompson, 8-2 against Adam Penwell, so that's farewell to Adam. Oh, cue ball. No excuses. Screwed it straight back in off. I've got a vague memory that Chris Melling played Liam White in the last event as well. Sure he did. Carl Boys has just started his losers round match against Declan Brennan. So there's going to be one of the previous winners is going to be on his way home within the next couple of hours. Both have won previous events. Frame 6. You'll hear the referee call it. Chris to break. Another monster. It's going to go reds. What a great shot. Lovely touch just to develop that yellow. I said he'd go reds at Chris. Just saw it differently. Oh, no. You take those for granted. Hampered queuing, and that's ultimately cost him. Deciding that the plan wasn't there, he'll go back up for the other red. I'm going to assume that he'll probably save it. May save it to this last ball. Yeah, I think he's going to have to now. I did wonder if he was going to try and get to it from this red, but too close to the cushion. And it just needs to leave a natural angle from the one in the middle. Just drift up table. nice angle just to stun past the yellow. Come down for the black. We'll be coming back down somewhere around about the blue spot in that kind of line. And he's just overhit it slightly, but he's fine. Oh, cue ball. He's lost it. Wow. What a massive turning point that could be. Shouldn't be anywhere near that middle bag. So, after that mistake from Liam in the last, handing the frame to Chris, how does he recover? Well, he recovers by another monster break and leaving the reds in the way that he has. Should be gimmies. That's the way to recover. Nice break dish. Gets it back to 4-3, but it's most definitely advantaged Chris now after that error. So apologies for the break-in commentary. We're just taking a quick bathroom break. Chris lurches out of his chair. Another dry break from Liam. And it's 4 frames each. There's nothing between them, but it's these little dry breaks like this that just could make all the difference. Yellows look okay. There's a lot of traffic. And it's just about how you maneuver the cue ball. Made this look easy. Scratching his head, but I think he's okay, isn't he? He can just chop this through and even out. I mean, obviously, the obvious problem is the black won't go into, what, 3 of the pockets, 4 of the pockets. But I think he's just looking now. He can leave it to middle, or he could just screw back 4 inches and leave it straight to the bottom corner. Left it to middle. Yeah, he's made this clearance look easy. 5-4 in favour of Chris, and he will break in the next. Well, whose game is this? It's nip and tuck. You favour Chris now with the break of serve. There you see all the other scores.
Time number 10, Chris Melling to break, leading 5 breaks to 4. Time running.
Look at the spread of balls. Makes the game pretty easy when you can break like that. All bar the yellow on the rail. And virtually left drop-ins. Could also choose reds. We can make a case for either ball set has 1 ball on the rail. He's going to go reds. That may be dictated by the fact, I'm not sure, the black passes that red into bottom corner. Oh, look at that for a flick. Goes now. Lovely ball control. He's going to leave the one down the rail till last. Wow. I think he was anticipating the kiss, but I think he wanted the yellow to go fractionally higher. Unless he was just trying to get past it. He's going to have to pull some out of the bag here. He really is. Hampered queuing. Oh. Yeah, he just took his medicine just to try and drop it in and leave himself the thin one to the top. Well, that one mistake. That could see Liam back to 5 each. The yellows aren't too difficult. As I say, still that one ball on the side rail. He's got 3 balls that he could use to try and knock it out, or he could just land on it. Oh, he's missed that by a margin. Didn't get close. Oh, Chris has come a long way short. And this is really, really fine to middle. Like really skinny. Whoa. Navigated it. And Liam didn't take the chance he was given. And now he's 2 frames behind. It's 6-4. That needs to slow down. Let it go. Careless. That's the only way you can describe it.
Yes, George. Oh, you're there.
And that's pretty huge. In the context of the game, that's pretty huge because these are, well, it's just a bit of a dolly layout really, isn't it, for Chris. And this is quickly going to be Chris Melling on the hill. When I say quickly, it really was. Takes no time over that clearance. The ball's barely stopped rolling and he's down, ready to hit the next one. One of the fastest players in the game, and he's on the hill. It's 7 frames to 4 in favour of Chris Melling. He'll break in the next.
Frame number 12. Chris Melling to break, leading 7 frames to 4. Time running.
He breaks dry. Liam has a chance to get one on the board. Reds look okay. it's drifted out. Well, no, it's not drifted out. It was a contact point. Didn't play it particularly well.
Sorry, I'm pushing the box in.
So, Chris Melling administering the last rites on this match. Well, a little bit thinner than he wanted to be. Shouldn't be a problem. Drops it in dead weight. Holds beautifully for the black. And this is Chris Melling through losers round 3. It's a solid performance for him. It's a game of breaks. And it just didn't really work out for Liam. A couple of mistakes from him. That result really could have gone either way. But it's Chris that comes away from the win. No doubt we'll hear from him in just a couple of minutes over in the interview room. He will go on now and will play the winner of Mark Boyle and Harjeet Singh. So another tough game come out from him, but Chris is used to them. We'll see you all again soon. Joined by Chris again after another solid performance, another worthy opponent there. He's a good player, Liam.
Yeah, great player. Been around quite a long time. Played at quite a high level. You know, played a lot of the Yarmouth events with Stoke, which are renowned for being the best team, Staffordshire.
Yeah.
You know, and he's a dangerous opponent. You know, you can't give him too many chances, especially race to 8. And he started off really well, and then he made 1 or 2 errors. I made one silly error when I left myself bridging.
Yeah.
But I had no choice but to leave that shot.
Yeah.
Because it was such a tough shot to get in the 8 ball from no matter which yellow I left. But I thought if I got rid of that one, then it would be a lot easier. But obviously I missed that.
It was Bit of a game of breaks, wasn't it? I mean, you've both got massive breaks. Liam, he's only a slight fella, but he generates some power.
Yeah, it's all timing. I mean, you watch some of them Chinese guys break at American pool, and they hit them as hard as anybody, you know. And I feel that I break as good as anybody. If, you know, I hit them, certainly hit them better than most people. Control the white quite well, but I think I'm hitting them too hard. I'm not making a ball. And in my last match, James Croxton broke against me. He made the same ball in the same pocket 6 times. And I was like, you know, how do you do that type of thing? You know, even though I know how to break, he was making the same ball, which is important because if you're making balls on the break, then you know you're dangerous against anyone.
Yeah. Talking about breaking, we did a masterclass in Event 4. We're going to show it tomorrow, just before the draw. So that'd be interesting to watch. And I mentioned actually on commentary that. You were hitting them hard there. I mean, you showed us some of your full power breaks, and you must have been up around about 90% there.
Yeah, I mean, I hit a couple of them hard. I didn't hit any of them as hard as I could. Obviously, I'm trying to control the break more than get the power, but I do hit them hard with power. That's just all practice, you know. I've been doing it for 25, 30 years, so you should be able to break after 30 years. But yeah, you know, you just got to take each game as it comes, and you know, hope you get the chances.
Yeah, another tough game coming up next. I think you got the loser of. I think it's Harjeet and Mark Boyle, I want to say. I think it's that one. So.
Yeah,
sorry, the winner of that game.
Yeah, very tough. Harjeet should have won his match the other day.
Yeah.
Played a terrible shot on his last ball.
Played Callum.
And obviously let Callum in, and Callum took advantage. But Mark, you know, Mark's class player, just won a big money match against Mark Farnsworth.
Yeah.
So both dangerous opponents, but I'm never one to be too concerned about who I'm playing.
No, of course.
That's in the back of my mind. Obviously, if you can get an easy draw, it helps. Yeah. But you know, it's all about.
You never get an easy draw.
No, it's all about how I play, as far as I'm concerned. You know, and if I can get the balls on the break, then who knows?
So winners' side and losers' side. Obviously, you're in the losers' side now, but I mean, does that help you in a way because you're just continuing at the table now? You're keeping warm. You're match fit.
Yeah, obviously, I'd like the longer races because normally the better player will win over a longer race. But it's not too much different. I mean, 3 frames isn't too much difference, but. Again, it's a race to 8, you know, and you could be sat there 3, 4, 5-0 down and not played a shot.
Yeah.
But I can also do that to them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Who knows?
Best of luck with the rest of the event, Chris.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah. So we'll be back in the main arena with, I think it's winners qualification next. We may have one more losers round, I'm not sure. If not, it'll be with winners qualification. We'll be back there soon.